wrong with Granny?
Well, I hate to tell you this, Jed, but she's stiff as a board.
At this time in the morning? I never knowed Granny to take more than a thimbleful and all. My doggy, she is stiff, isn't she? Granny, I'm ashamed of you.
This here's the letter Jethro dropped when he fell in the cement pond. He says he'll be right in.
Oh, no, he won't. Jethro, you stay out in the sun till you're dry.
What's wrong with Granny?
Go outside and chase Jethro till he gets dry.
If I catch him, can I wrestle him?
No, Elly, just run him.
What happened?
What hit me?
Going liquor, I reckon.
Well, whoever throwed it at me left it in the jug. Granny, can you walk? Of course I can walk.
Well, then, let's walk over to the table here and sit down while Pearl reads us his letter.
Quit pulling the table away from me.
Granny, you and Miss Drysdale been hitting the juice a little?
Of course not. I never take more than a thimbleful, and you know it. Granny, Jed, I can't read all the writing because the ink is run. But this letter's from Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, and they's a-flying out here.
Well, doggy. You hear that, Granny? Old Lester and Earl's coming out here to see us.
You mean they're coming to see Pearl? Them two always was crazy in love with her. Oh, Granny, that was a long time ago, before they moved to Nashville and become famous.
A man never forgets his first love, Pearl. And you was the first love of both Flatt and Scruggs.
Oh, stop it. I was just a girl, and they was just boys. Big boys, grant you. I never seen two big boys crazier in love with one little woman.
They was all scrapping over you.
Or singing to you.
Sometimes they do both. Sing a chorus and then scrap a chorus.
You had their heart melting like hog grease on a hot griddle. Now, stop it. You got me a-blushing. I don't want to hear no more about it.
All right, Pearl.
Remember the way they used to serenade me? Yeah. Lester with his guitar and Earl with his banjo.
Both of them singing love songs till their throats was raw. Pearl, how come you never said yes to one of them fine boys?
I just couldn't decide betwixt them. They both asked me to elope, but I couldn't decide whether to fly with Flatt or skip with Scruggs. You better decide now. I'll bet that's why they're flying out here, to get your answer. After all these years? Oh, Granny, don't be ridiculous.
Man never forgets his first love, Pearl.
Pearl, 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 don't give your love to Earl. I've got a horse and mule, 40 acres near a school, and we'll be happy as two buds.
Pearl, 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 come be my loving girl. Don't you marry Lester Flatt, he slicks his hair with possum fat. Change her name to Mrs. Earl Scruggs.
Pearl, 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 you'll get no love from Earl. This your man is such a sap. He won't hold you on his lap and let you are an old 5-string banjo.
Pearl, 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 he's nutty as a squirrel. If you'll be Mrs. Scruggs, we will live on kisses and hugs, happy as to...
I think we better stop this song, cause yonder comes her wife.
Yeah, they're jealous of Pearl as it is.
Well, they got a reason to be, cause I ain't never seen a girl as pretty as Pearl.
Yeah, we had to settle for second best.
Why'd you stop singing, Earl? Yes, what was that song you boys were doing just now?
Just an old tune we used to sing.
Before we met you.
Oh, you're going to use it in your Los Angeles engagement?
Oh, no, I don't think we'd better. Say, Earl, it sure will be nice to see old Jed Clampett again, won't it?
It sure will, Lester.
You know who they can't wait to see again, don't you? Of course.
The fabulous Pearl.
We'll finally get a look at this raving beauty.
I'm dying to meet her, aren't you?
Can you make out any more of the letter, Pearl?
There's another word coming through. E-N-G-A-G. Engaged. engagement.
Granny was right. He's coming for your answer. You got to get engaged to one of them.
Oh, I don't believe it. After all these years. Pearl, you want to take my advice? You marry that little Earl Scruggs.
Don't you do it, Pearl. Take Lester Flat.
I ain't figuring on marrying nobody. Now, let's not have no more of this kind of talk.
Well, Ma, I'm winded, but I'm dry.
Jethro Scruggs. What? Well, Dean. Oh, go change your clothes.
Quick as you can, come on in the house and give Granny a hand. She's cooking for the big wingding tonight.
We's having a wingding?
We sure are. Earl Scruggs and Lester Flat's coming to town.
I hear to them, they make records and everything.
Them two learned how to sing and play serenading your Aunt Pearl.
Really? Well, tell me about it, Pa.
Well, your Aunt Pearl was just about your age then. And she favored you a lot, too. Real pretty. Had corn silky hair just like yours. And a beautiful figure. Well, sir, she pretty near drove Lester and Earl out of their banjo-picking minds. For a man of them boys, they finally left the hills and moved to Nashville.
Well, how come Aunt Pearl didn't marry up with one of them?
Couldn't make up her mind, I reckon, but she's gonna have to tonight. Them boys are coming out here insisting on an engagement.
That's how come we's having a wingding, huh?
Yeah. Back home, we'd had a barn dance. Trouble is, these Beverly Hills places ain't got no barns.
Well, couldn't we borrow somebody's barn, Pa?
Well, scarce as they are, and us being strangers, it'd be too much to ask. You'll make do, though. I sent Jethro out with a truck to find some hay and some corn shucks and one thing and another and put them in the drawing room.
Reckon he can make it look like a barn?
I told him to do the best he could.
Uncle Jet told me to fix the drawing room up like a barn. I'll see how you like it. You ain't seen nothing yet, Ma. Come on in.
I'm surprised you didn't bring in a mule.
That rascal get out again.
Jethro, you're making me old before my time. How could you bring this livestock into a mansion like this?
It wasn't easy, Ma, but I figured it out. Took the truck up to the front of the mansion and...
You get this livestock out of here and you be quick about it.
But why?
Because I say why. Now get it out, take it back where you got it, and I mean right now.
Well, I'll do my best, Ma, but first I gotta round up that mule and them other pigs.
I should have married Lester Earl. Maybe this wouldn't have happened to me.
This is the special operator. The number you have dialed does not exist.
You sound like the same lady I was talking to before.
Yes, I'm afraid I am.
Well, then you put me through to the same butcher shop I was talking to before. I told that fella to send me a side of pork and some pig feet for tonight's wingding. And it better get here, too, before I... Never mind, honey, it's here. And I gotta say for him, it's fresh.
Oh, there you are, you little rascal. You're going home.
Where you going with that?
I told me to take him back where he come from.
You Now, Jeff, don't you go away. I want you to see the rest of my dresses.
Ah, Pearl, I ain't no judge of women's clothes.
I need a man's opinion. Listen, Jeff. Mrs. Lester Flat. Mrs. Earl Scruggs. Pearl Flat. Pearl Scruggs. They all sound good, don't they?
Wait course, driver.
Louise, I think we're making a mistake. Lester and Earl will be furious when they find out about this.
Let him be furious. I want to get a look at Pearl before that party tonight. I want to know how I'm going to stack up.
But we've just spent 3 hours at the beauty parlor. You look gorgeous.
So do you. But maybe Pearl looks super gorgeous.
Louise, be sensible. Our husbands knew this woman years and years ago. Do you realize how old she must be by now?
I hear they start very young back in those hills. Now, we've come this far, and I'm not leaving until I've seen Pearl.
But this is going to be very embarrassing. She's going to think we're a couple of snoopy, worried wives.
Aren't we?
Yes, but...
Look, Gladys, if it'll make you feel any better, we won't tell her who we are. We'll say we're a couple of those house-to-house cosmetic saleswomen.
But you'll find out who we are at the party.
They will all have a good laugh over it. Now, come on.
Oh, howdy there, ladies. Come in, come in.
Thank you.
What can I do for you?
We're selling cosmetics.
You selling what?
Cosmetics, you know, beauty cream, face powder, perfume.
Oh, thank you, ladies, but I never use it.
We sell it to the lady of the house. And we understand a lady named Pearl lives here?
Yeah, she sure does.
Dad,
Yeah.
I need your help out in the... Oh, I didn't know you had company.
Are you Pearl?
Please be Pearl.
Well, I ain't. Who are you?
These ladies sells beauty cream, Granny.
Oh, you can see I don't need none. Oh, Jed, I need you.
Well, Pearl will be down directly. She comes down them stairs every 5 minutes wearing a different beautiful gown. She's trying to pick one for the wingding tonight. Take yourself to home.
Howdy. Do y'all think this dress is fancy enough for a wingding?
Well,
Back to the beauty shop.
Pearl! Didn't Lester and Earl get here yet?
No, they didn't, and it's coming up for 7.
Well, they better get here quick before Jethro has all the victuals at.
Lester and Early, Charlie's wonderful.
Brother, didn't come yet, Pearl.
Well, why'd you call me, Granny?
For you to stop that overgrown young'un of yourn from eating us out of a wingding. He's done gone through my crawdad dip and my pawpaw spread. And right now he's in there tossing down them pickled pig's feet like there was popcorn. Jethro, you come on out here. Now, you better stop him before he gets into the ham hocks and the turnip greens.
Too late. Them ham hocks sure was good.
Was.
Jethro, did you eat all them ham hocks alone?
No, ma'am. I done like you always told me. I ate the greens, too.
Hi, everybody. I taught Skippy and Ronnie a little trick to do at the wingding.
Annie Mae, what happened to that pretty dress you was wearing?
Oh, Pa, I can't square dance in that thing. And it ain't good for working with my critters, neither.
Lester and Earl don't get here soon. Our wingding is gonna fall apart.
I tell you, Earl, I just don't understand it. Their wives spent all afternoon in the beauty shop and then went back again tonight.
That's what we get for marrying city women.
Yeah, I reckon we'll just have to leave the party tonight at 9 o'clock and go pick 'em up.
I reckon so.
Hey, I've got an idea. Let's surprise old Jed with that song we wrote about.
Your own.
Come on, Skippy. Come on. Jump. Come on, jump. That's the way. That's a boy. Come on. Come on. Come on. Jump, Albert. Jump. Good doggy. Come on. That's the doggy. Yeah.
It's them. They's here.
That's Lester and Earl, all right.
Not yet, Jed. Let me get upstairs first,
Well, what for, Pearl?
so I can make an entrance.
I've been listening to my story about a man named Jed. Poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. Then one day he was shooting at some food. Up through the ground come a bubbling crude. Oil, that is. Texas tea.
Well, welcome, Earl. Come in. You know Granny and Jethro and his daughter Elly Mae.
Howdy.
Where'd that song come from you all was singing out there?
Oh, we wrote it, Jed. We heard about your good luck clean down in Nashville.
Well, doggy. Where's Pearl?
Upstairs waiting.
Come on down, Pearl. Come on down here. Come on, here's Earl and Lester. Come on, we're waiting for you.
Pearl, 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 come let
her courage? Are you still her Valentine? Do you still look so divine? Come and let us see her darling Pearl.
Lester Flat. Oh, Scruffy, so good to see you both.
See you, Pearl.
Listen, everybody, I hope you'll excuse us for coming without wives.
You're excused.
We have a good reason.
Of course you do, and we understand, Earl. Let's all relax now and have some good old stomping music and some of Granny's victuals and get acquainted all over again. Well, come on, let's go in there and get
I
something.
remember how you boys like a nice roast roast. And when you see the beauty I've bunched up for you.
Pearl, just a minute now. I want to talk to you.
Jed, I just can't decide. I like them both.
Well, you better get to liking one better than the other one. There's just too many pretty women out here in Beverly Hills. Now, you take them two come to the door this afternoon selling beauty cream. If Earl and Lester ever gets a look at them, you ain't gonna keep them on the string for long.
Now, anytime you want to know where I'm going down the road, get my girl on the line. You find me there most anytime. Now, old man Flatty on the farm, from the hog lot to the barn, from the barn to the rail, he made his living by carrying the mail.
Jed, I just made my decision.
Which one, Pearl?
Can't marry neither one of them.
Why not?
Because I'll be busting up one of the most wonderful musical teams in this whole country.
How come you to say that?
Because the one that don't get me will be eat up with jealousy and they'll get to fighting like they used to.
Pearl, I believe you're right.
Just let me get up the nerve to tell them because this is gonna hurt.
Earl, I've got a good idea for our Los Angeles engagement.
What's that?
Let's ask Pearl and all the rest of them to square dance on the stage.
That's a great idea.
Pearl, we got something to ask you. You know we come all the way out here for an engagement.
Lester, before you go any further, the answer is no.
What?
No to both of you.
But Pearl.
Now, don't beggar, boys. This hurts Pearl more than it does you.
Time heals all wounds.
Speaking of time, Earl, we're late. Come on.
We'll be back just as soon as we can make it.
Pearl, they couldn't take it. They run off just like they done 18 years ago.
They left their guitar and their banjo. Don't you think we ought to wait up for them to come back for her?
It might take another 18 years. Let's get to bed.
They ain't come back, Ryan. If you could have seen them run out of here when I said no.
Folks, we'd like you to meet our wives, Mrs. Flatt, Mrs. Scruggs, Gladys, and Louise.
Howdy.
You see, Pearl, I told you if they ever met them two women, you wouldn't keep them on the string. They married them on the rebound.
Oh, Lester and Earl. I had to settle for second best.
Hey, Ma, what you want me to do with the sign?
Oh, I don't care, Jethro. You might as well burn it.
Okay, Ma.
Back in here. Take it on outside.
Okay. What's going on, Pearl? How come you brought in your sign?
Oh, Jed, I give up. How can I give music lessons when every time I open my mouth to sing or yodel, 15 dogs jump on me?
That's right, Uncle Dick. Last night when I come in, they had my treat on top of the piano.
That wasn't funny, Jethro.
Well, it made Granny and me laugh.
Well, it may give me her word that she'd keep them dogs outside, especially while you was performing.
How they getting in here?
I don't know, but we'll find out. Jethro, you stay here and watch the front door. I'll go watch the cellar door. You know he can't get in the back because Granny's in the kitchen. Pearl, you go on in the drawing room and cut loose.
How'd they get in, Ma?
Well, they seem to come from that direction over there.
Oh, I wish I was in Dixie, hooray, hooray. In Dixieland, I'll take my stand to living. Well, what's everybody staring at me for? I didn't let them dogs in.
Nobody said you did, Granny.
My own kin has turned against me, giving me the evil eye. You want to get shed of me because I'm old and ailing and all crippled up with the rheumatism and the lumbago. Worn out in the service of my kin. Well, you don't have to put up with old Granny anymore. I'm going to throw myself in the cement pond and drown. Then I won't be no more trouble to you. Don't nobody try and stop me. Don't nobody try to stop me.
Well, Pearl, you heard her. Reckon you better take over the kitchen.
All right, Jed, I'll get right out there.
You keep out of my kitchen. Go get her, gang. There's the usual reward.
Granny, close that door.
Okay. I only opened the door to let in a little fresh air.
And a lot of dogs.
Well, I just can't take Pearl screeching any longer. Sounds like a pine knot in a sawmill.
Miss Drysdale's been complaining, too. Calls the police most every day.
That ain't a bit neighborly, is it?
Mr. Drysdale promised she wouldn't call no more. Now, Granny, you leave them dogs outside.
Give me the police.
Man, I thought that complaint would never come through. How could anyone complain about a thing as beautiful as Pearl's yodeling? Besides, you're not well.
Jed, you let him in. I just know it's that nice policeman who's crazy about my yodeling.
I don't think so this morning, Pearl.
Oh, sure it is. Comes by putting her every morning about now. Him and that young policeman.
Oh, it is you. Come in.
Thank you, Mr. Clavitt. Morning, sir.
Morning.
Well, look who's here. Officer Dean.
You can just call me Eddie, ma'am.
Well, effing you called me Pearl, Eddie.
It'll be my pleasure, Pearl.
I got a brand new yodel to show you.
Wonderful.
Everybody can be friends if they just try. And you two is friends now. Just remember, Russ, folks don't eat their friends. You two have a good ride and go show Granny how y'all made up. That's the best batch of rheumatism medicine I ever did cook up. Yes, sirree. That's first rate. commenced to seeing birds riding horseback on cats. That's enough tasting.
Hi, Granny.
Oh, Elly, here, keep the fire going under my still. I'm going up and rest a while.
Granny, you promised Paul you wouldn't run your still no more.
Just to make a little rheumatism medicine, in case I wake up one of these bitter cold nights and get a seizure.
Granny, it don't get bitter cold out here.
Jethro read in the newspaper where it's going to get 20 below tonight. Of course, that's in Alaska. But if I wake up and think about it, I might get a seizure.
Elly May!
Down here by the fire.
Elly May, what are you doing? Now, this is illegal. You can get arrested for this.
I can't?
Well, absolutely. Open fires aren't allowed in this area. Here, I'll help you put it out.
How
am I doing?
Just fine. You got the makings of a first-rate yodeler.
Thank you. Oh, say, I got to get back to the car and check in.
Check in.
On the radio. Come on, I'll show you.
Oh, is it all right?
Sure, come on.
Well, I reckon I hadn't better resist an officer of the law.
That's right. Just come along quietly. Remember, I've got a gun. Uncle Jed, Granny, come quick.
What is it, General?
That policeman arrested Ma.
Arrested her?
Yes, sir. He had her by the arm and dragging her out to his police car. I'll go see if he's gone yet.
I wouldn't have called the police if I thought...
Granny, you mean you set the police on Pearl, your own kin?
I reckon I did, Jed. I don't recollect it quite clear. I guess it's because I'm so old and sick and ailing and puny and frail and all crippled up with
All
the
right, now,
rope.
don't start that again. Granny, I just can't understand you turning on your own kin.
Well, it was just... It was the hot California sun that done it. That's what done it. It softened my poor old brain. You ain't gonna throw me out of the clan, are you, Jed?
Uncle Jed! He ain't took Ma away yet. They still out front.
Maybe it's time to right the wrong you done.
Oh, I will. I will. I'll do anything. Pearl! Pearl! I'm coming, Pearl! I'm coming!
I sure wish I could invite you into the kitchen for some coffee and victuals, but Granny's so mean and cantankerous when it comes to...
Pearl! Forgive me. I'm the one that set the law on you. Please forgive me, Pearl. I'm so ashamed. Forgive me, Pearl. Don't let Jed throw me out of the clan.
You set the law on me?
Oh, I'm low, Pearl. Awful low and mean. Step on me, Pearl. Step on me. Step on me like you would a worm. Tromp on me. Grind your feet on me. Out of there, Pearl. Mr. Policeman, run over me. I don't deserve to live. Run over me and throw my poor old mean body to the buzzards.
All right, Granny, now that's enough.
But Pearl hasn't forgiven me yet. Mr. Policeman, give your gun to Pearl and let her shoot me.
Oh, Granny, stop that.
Put a curse on me, Pearl.
I forgive you. I forgive you.
But I deserve to be punished, and punished bad. Sing to me, Pearl.
Granny, Pearl done says she forgives you.
Am I taken back to the clan? Am I welcome to the bosom of my family?
I reckon.
Pearl, you are an angel. You can have anything I got anytime. You can have any part of my kitchen. Throw me out of it. Set the dogs on me.
Yes, sir. Take your Granny into the house, please.
Sure, Ma. Did you want her?
No, I didn't want her.
Walk me, Pearl.
So take her in the house.
Come on in the house and walk me, Pearl.
I'm sorry, Mr. Policeman, but Granny, you know, she gets worked up every now and then.
I understand.
Now, I can invite you in the kitchen to have some victuals and coffee.
Oh, no, thanks. I see my partner coming. We better get moving.
Well, young fella, you find anything missing?
Oh, no, sir. She's got everything. I mean, everything was there. But that isn't around the pool.
Well, you come back and see us here.
We will. Just keep yodeling.
Bye now.
Bye.
See you when the roads get better.
Bye-bye. It's quite a family, isn't it, Baron? As you young fellas would say,
Like wow, man.
You know, here they are with all these millions in this big, beautiful mansion. And guess how they heat the water for their swimming pool? How? Well, they got this big, round kind of copper boiler, see? And coming out of the top is this kind of spout. And attached to that is this corkscrew tubing that goes down and leads into a big jar.
Brian.
And they keep this fire going under this big boiler.
Officer Kelly.
But imagine how long it would take to
City
heat all...
boy.
Yes, sir?
You have just described a still. A what? A still. No wonder they got so much money. These people are moonshiners.
Pearl, is this bowl big enough? Cause if it ain't, you just say the word and I'll fetch another one.
Granny, you don't have to fetch and carry for me.
It's my pleasure. It's an honor to be in the same kitchen with such a good cook as you are. What you making?
My special sweet potato pie.
Did you hear that, kid? Did you hear what this beautiful cousin of yours is making?
Yeah, I heard, Granny.
Pearl, before I go on to my reward, would you give me the receipt for that pie? I want to make it for the angels up yonder. That is, if they'll take me in after the shameful thing I've done today. Like setting the law on my own kin. A devil got into me, Pearl.
Granny, don't go to bawling. 'Twas no harm done.
But kinfolks should stick together.
That's the truth. Blood's thicker than water.
Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what Jed said? That's the wisest thing I ever heard in all my life. Blood is thicker than water.
Granny, I didn't make it up.
But nobody ever said it like you said it, Jed. It makes me proud to belong to your clan. I do belong, don't I, Jed? Oh, bless you. Bless you both. I don't deserve such good kin.
It's a pure pleasure to see you all getting along at last. Reckon it takes a storm to bring out the rainbow.
Did you hear what I said? Pearl, don't strain yourself reaching for anything like that here. Stand on me.
Oh, Granny, get off. You don't have to wait on me.
But I've got to make up for what I've done to you, Pearl. Order me. Command me.
Well, all right, let me have a couple of pie tins.
What else, Pearl?
Hand me the flour.
What else, Pearl?
Well, Granny, maybe you could help me later. Right now, I just would kind of like to be in the kitchen by myself.
I understand. I got some things outside I can tend to.
It's just I want this potato pie to be special good for Eddie. Who? Officer Dean, good-looking policeman.
Oh, I wouldn't get too thick with the law, Pearl. They can be awful nosy.
Oh, Eddie and me's just yodeling acquaintances. So far.
It's a still, all right. There's no question about it. Well, that doesn't mean they're making moonshine. Maybe it's something harmless.
I'll show you how harmless it is. Come on. Strike a match. Now toss the match in there.
In the water?
Toss it.
Hey, Sarge, we're not going to arrest Elly May for this, are we? I'm sure she's not responsible for it.
I don't think Pearl is either.
Mr. Clampert seemed like such a wonderful man.
It's probably Granny. Anybody who would lie down in front of a police car and say, run over me, has got to be gassed.
Maybe Granny doesn't know it's wrong to make that stuff.
That's possible. Pearl says she refuses to give up the custom to the hill.
Well, looks like Pearl was right.
Yeah, and there's Granny's old still to prove it.
Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home.
Say, Pearl, you seen anything of them two policemen?
Not since they left.
Well, that's just it. They didn't. Their police car's still out front.
Oh, that Eddie. Oh, I hope he's not so gone on me that he's neglecting his duty.
Oh, here's Granny. Back to help you, Pearl.
Good. Granny, I need your rendering skillet.
I'll see that you get it, Pearl.
Say, I was just telling Pearl, Granny, that police car's still out front. I can't figure it myself, but Pearl seems to understand.
Uh-huh. Granny, did you find the skillet? Yeah, Pearl. Well, let me have it.
Sure is heartwarming to see you two. Granny!
What was that loud ringing noise?
Granny, why in the world did you...
I heard the meal gong. It's Biddle's room. Ah!
Don't touch her. She's tainted.
Tainted?
That sure is a fancy new meal going in me and Skippy. What happened? I ain't Pearl.
Granny whumped her, and I reckon she better tell me how come right now.
Young'uns, you know the code of the hills. What is the lowest, meanest, traitorous thing a friend can do to his neighbor?
Tell the revenuers he's got to steal.
Here sits the traitor that done it. She's the one that ain't fit to belong to the clan.
Granny, you promised me you wouldn't make no more moonshine.
I'm making medicine.
You want me all gnarled up and twisted in the grip of my rheumatism? Is that the thanks I get for working my poor old fingers to the bone?
Yonder comes the law. 2 policemen.
Barricade the door. Lift the table. Lay Pearl's body across it and we'll shoot from behind her. Elly, you get the flag. Jethro, you get the guns. And I'll throw knives at them till you get back.
Nobody do nothing. We ain't gonna fight the law.
We ain't gonna fight. What are we, a clan or a nest of mice?
You heard me. Jethro, you and Elly take some of that cold water. Bring your ma, too. I'll take care of the law.
Labby, we'd like to talk to you about that still down by the swimming pool.
Yes, sir. I feared you'd catch me sooner or later. Well, I'm ready to go with you. I'll make no trouble.
Are you the one who's running it?
Me and me only.
Paul ain't running it. It's me. That's my steal, ain't it, Jethro?
No, sir. That's my steal.
Don't listen to these young'uns. It's my seal. Now, come on. Arrest me. Let's get it over with.
Well, that ain't true. If you want to know who that still belongs to, I'll tell you.
It's me.
Pearl.
Put the handcuffs on me.
Now, just a darn minute. Ain't nobody gonna take credit for my work except me. And if it's again the law to make a little rheumatism medicine, then take me to the chain gang.
Yeah,
No, hey, that's my steal. Hey, hold it. That's mine.
Here's like we's all going to the chain gang.
Nobody will go anywhere if Granny will promise to stop making rheumatism medicine.
Well, I reckon what I made today will hold me through the winter.
Well, I wouldn't count on that. You see, we accidentally spilled all the evidence into the swimming pool.
Swimming pool? Oh, poor Charlie.
Who's Charlie?
My pet duck.
It ain't what you got. It's what you ain't got that's ailing you.
Well, what is it we ain't got?
I could tell you in 3 words. Female company.
Female company. Got a house full of females. You, Elly Mae, Pearl.
I ain't talking about female kinfolks.
Granny, is you suggest that you want... You... Granny, me and Duke is too old for that courting and sparking nonsense.
You ain't half too old. And a fine figure of a man, too. A heap lot better than them slick-haired, shiny-shoed, sweet-smelling city dudes.
Talking plumb silly. You gonna make that tonic or ain't you?
I ain't.
Come on, Duke. Let's just go hunting. Let me get our blood stirred up.
Depends on what you hunt.
How'd you like to be a bobcat?
See?
Yeah, that's all right. We get out in the woods, get to smelling bobcat tracks. Reckon you get the idea?
Well, if you want to get the idea, you go next door to the Drysdales and smell some orange blossoms. I think they're getting ready for a wedding.
Drysdale? Wonder who's getting hitched.
I don't know. Must be some kin of Miss Drysdale's. She's been frolicating around like a chicken in the corn crib.
Oh, happy day. Greetings, all.
Mrs. Drysdale.
Margaret, I've asked you not to barge in here while I'm working.
Oh, pish posh. It's more important that
and our darling getting married?
Sonny's getting married?
Oh, no, dear. Claude is getting married.
Congratulations, Claude. Margaret, dogs do not get married, they mate.
Milburn, don't be crude. I prefer to consider Claude and his beautiful Parisian bride as entering wedlock.
Parisian bride?
Darling, I told you last week I was having a bride for Claude flown in from Paris. Really, Milburn, you don't listen. All you think about is your silly old bank.
Forgive me, dear. Congratulations, Claude.
Be careful, his nail polish may not be dry. He's just come from the poodle parlor. He had a clip and a manicure and a dye job.
I thought he was a different color.
Becoming, isn't it? And so natural. Only him's hairdresser knows for sure. Oh, Miss Hathaway, I'll need you today.
Oh, what for? A bridesmaid?
Oh, of course not, Milburn. I'll need her as an interpreter. You see...
Aimable, monsieur. Je suis votre débiteuse.
No offense, ma'am, but you're kind of hard to understand. Where about you from?
Je ne vous comprends pas.
Oh, well, I bet you it's a nice place.
Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
Yeah, well, thank you. Same to you and many more of them. Mighty handsome-looking woman. Smelled pretty, too, didn't she, Duke? Duke? Where'd you go, Duke?
Granny! Granny!
Yeah, Pearl.
Do you know who's got a secret sweetheart?
No, Pearl. But hum it for me. I'll pick it up.
It ain't a song, Granny. It's Jen. She's got a lady friend, and she's pretty, too.
Well, the old rooster took my advice. Hey, Granny, hey, Pearl, look at old Duke. He's got a new friend. Well, by dingies, they both took my advice. I reckon maybe I'll take it next myself. Paul, have you seen Duke's new friend, Cotton Patch?
Well, no, I ain't. Come on up here and let's take a look at you.
She pretty? I named her Cotton Patch because her hair grows in clumps.
I reckon it was clipped that way, Elly Mae, but the fella that done it must have had the clippers in one hand and a jug in the other. He missed the biggest part of her.
Oh, Duke sure has took a fancy to her. He dug up 4 of his best bones and give them to her.
She done a lot for Duke, too. Before she come along, Duke was feeling lower in a snake's belly in a wagon rut, but look at him now.
Yeah. Oh, look at this here collar that Cotton Patch was wearing. I was afraid she'd catch it in the bushes running after Duke, so I took it off.
Ain't that fancy. Duke, are you sure you ain't after that girl just for her money?
Reckon them's diamonds, Paul?
Might could be. Elly Mae, this dog belongs to somebody. Somebody that sets great store by her, too. Folks don't just get...
Merveilleux. Vous avez trouvé mon chien bien aimé.
I reckon this must be the party that owns Cotton Patch. I'll put her in the car for you, ma'am. There you are, ma'am.
Pearl Bodine, shame on you. You gonna spy on your own cousin?
I sure am.
Me too.
Oh, monsieur, je ne sais pas comment vous remercier, mais peut-être que ça vous démontre mes vrais sentiments.
Say, ma'am, here's something I reckon you'd like to have.
Oh, monsieur, je vous remercie encore une fois. Mille fois merci. Merci, mon ami.
See what he give her? A diamond choker. Yeah, must have cost old Jed a fortune. Here we go.
Man, this place is shining.
Hey, Granny.
Yeah, Pearl.
If you had a beau driving up in a fancy car and a hugging and a kissing you, wouldn't you want your kinfolk to meet that beau?
I sure would, Pearl. Especially if I was giving that beau expensive presents.
You mean like a diamond choker?
That's what I mean.
You know, I hear tell that French women is real fond of jewelry.
If you two are trying to make something out of what just happened outside, you can leave off before you get started. All I was doing was returning that lady's dog, and that diamond choker was the dog's collar.
Here we are, the bridal suite. I do hope you like it. This is such a beautiful moment. I just know I'm going to cry. Your lovely bride is waiting. It's that horrible hillbilly bee.
Jed, came home quick as I could. We going hunting now?
You go, Jethro. I don't feel much like hunting.
But that's why you said you wanted to go. You said you and old Duke was feeling all dragged out and ornery, and you wanted to go hunting to get your blood to stirring. That's what you're saying.
Well, I ain't saying it now. Why don't you go ahead without me?
But I don't need to go hunting to stir my blood. It's already stirring.
Well, stir it some more.
You keep turning away from me, Uncle Jed. Done shaved. Hey, Ma, Granny, Elly Mae, come see Uncle Jed shaved in the middle of the day.
Oh, hush. Ain't you never seen a man with a shave before?
Not you. Not unless there's a wedding or a funeral to go to. Hey, look yonder at Uncle Jed.
Oh, great clouds of buggy dust.
He got pulled off his stubble. Trimmed his mustache.
In the middle of the day.
Tarnation.
Oh, you're pretty.
Ain't it stylish?
It's got smell 'em on it.
Things have come to a sorry state when a man can't shave his face and comb his hair without his family cackling like a bunch of chickens at a new worm.
Why, Cousin Jed, that ain't a nice thing to call your sweetie.
Jed got a sweetie?
City woman. Talks foreign. Drives a sporty car.
Dresses to the teeth.
Wears jewelry.
Given to her by your Uncle Romeo. I mean, Jed.
Diggity.
Oh, am I gonna have a new mom?
Oh, you ain't. I ain't gonna listen to more of this nonsense talk. Howdy, ladies.
Mademoiselle Denise, Monsieur Clampett.
Nous nous connaissons.
Oh, you two have met.
Yes, ma'am.
Mais Monsieur Clampet a changé.
She says you look different.
Oh, shucks, just 'cause I mowed off my whiskers and combed my hair.
Very becoming. Oh, will you keep Duke here? He's upsetting the wedding ceremony at the Drysdales.
It ain't her that's getting married, is it?
Oh, no, indeed.
Monsieur, je vous préfère comme vous êtes. Sans base.
We have to hurry. Now, you will keep Duke here.
Yes, ma'am.
Monsieur Clampett garderait le chien ici.
Ah, vous êtes toujours si aimable et obligeant.
Mademoiselle Denise is calming the bride's nerves. They'll be right in.
Good, good. This delay is so difficult for Claude. I hope he doesn't get one of his migraines.
Well, the perfume.
I want to eradicate every vestige of that horrid beast from next door. Claude must never know.
What in the name of FHA is this?
You've come for the ceremony.
No, I've come for my secretary. Margaret, this used to be my den. And there's where my TV set was.
And now it's a love nest for Claude and his beautiful bride. Milburn, doesn't it thrill you?
Can hardly stand it.
Oh! This is Mademoiselle Denise. And this is my...
Yes, we've met. Come on, Miss Hathaway, let's get back to the bank.
Oh, no, dear. Claude is about to meet his new bride. Would you like to give her away?
Can I give them both away?
Oh, dear boy. Darling, you bring Claude in. He'll feel more secure with his daddums at his side.
Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça?
Oh, the dog next... Le chien de nos voisins, Duke.
I'll close the window so that... Oh, here's the handsome groom. This is a magic moment. Oh, what a cruel blow. Quick, Milburn, call a psychiatrist.
Yours or his?
Is we going hunting or are you going courting?
You talking about I ain't going courting?
Then we's going hunting.
Joey, I didn't want to go hunting. Now, you go yourself and take Duke with you.
Duke don't want to go hunting. Well, he's outside right now, frisking around with that there white dog that Elly May calls Cotton Patch.
Is she there?
She sure is. Old Duke's happier than a cat at a fish fry. She's running and jumping and just playing around and... What are you holding under the table, Uncle Jay?
None of your business. Now, get out.
You're polishing your shoes. Hey, Ma, Granny, Elly May, Uncle Jim's polishing his shoes and it ain't even Sunday.
You do make more racket than a jackass in a tin barn. Well, this is the nosiest family a man was ever burdened with.
Well, look at them shoes. All fresh oiled. That's in your laces, too.
And them's his best socks.
And it ain't even Sunday.
Son, every day's Sunday when you're in love.
Now that takes a rag off in the bush. I ain't in love, and I just oiled my shoes because they were squeaking.
They've been squeaking for 15 years, as I remember. You ain't never oiled them.
Young'uns, you go and get outside. Granny and me's got some grown-up things to say.
I ain't gonna listen to no more fools.
Now, Jed, you hadn't ought to fight against romance. You're still young and good-looking.
And you're rich, too.
Yeah. And with that, you don't need young and good-looking.
That reminds me. I dug something out of the mothballs for you. Your necktie and your derby that you wore when you came a-courting Rose Ellen, all duded up and stepping out like a chicken in high oats.
I got something for you, too, Jed. How boiled and starched your fancy cotton shirt.
I'm gonna put this stuff back where it belongs, and I don't want to hear no more words about roaming.
Where you going?
I'm going out and dig myself a root cellar and crawl in and lock it so I can get a little peace and quiet.
What you say, Mrs. Drysdale?
I said Claude's honor has been besmirched, and I demand satisfaction. Poor Claude is in a state of shock. Now I demand that Claude's bride be returned immediately.
Yes, ma'am. Ellie will bring her right over. Shoot. Eddie, you better get that poodle over there fight. I sure will.
Hold on, Elly May. I'm going to take that dog back to the Drysdales, and Duke, you're coming along.
What?
It seems to me that critters ought to have the same right as people to pick their own company. So we're going over there, and Cotton Patch, you can make up your mind who you want to court. Just like I made up mine.
One woman, and probably the world's greatest authority on colonial history, early American genealogical origins, and 17th and 18th century artifacts. And she is the esteemed president of the FFT of A.
Well, we sure would be proud to meet her.
I shall call upon every resource to avert such a social catastrophe.
Well, thank you very kindly.
May I send a truck to pick up this debris?
Well, I don't know. I'm sure Granny'd let you use anything you wanted, but I don't think she'd want to sell it.
I would only want it for the rubbish collector.
Yeah, you're right. They make nice gifts, but like I said...
enough of this. Time grows short.
You are a disgrace to Beverly Hills. You in this pile of junk. Why don't you go back to the woods and live in a cave where you belong?
Bravo! My sentiments precisely. You are indeed a disgrace. And the sooner you leave this lovely community, the better.
Just a doggone minute, fatso. You be careful what you say to our Granny. Give us a load of kisses. How dare her to say them things about sweet little Granny.
Pearl, I hope you ain't in no hurry to get into high society. I just don't think that Miss Drysdale is gonna be too quick about giving you a leg up.
You say Mrs. Drysdale is here?
Yes, ma'am. If it's all right, I'll take the bags on over to the house.
Of course. Thank you.
Blasted music again. One of these days, I'm gonna tear out all these walls and find out where that music's coming from.
They said it's a ghost playing that music.
Maybe it's the rascal that used to live here.
Sure don't know many tunes. He keeps playing the same one over and over again.
Jethro, why don't you ask your teacher over to Pot School about that music?
I'll do it, Uncle Jet. But one thing I know for sure. Somebody's gonna come to that door. They always do when you hear that music. See?
Sure had it pegged right. By the way, your ma wants you in the kitchen. Howdy, ma'am.
Tell me, is this your loom out here?
No, ma'am. That belongs to Granny.
May I speak to her, please?
You sure can. Come on in.
I have reason to believe... Ah, what have we here?
Well, that there's my daughter, Elly Mae.
Spinning wheel. Where did you get it?
It's Granny. She says it's been in her family a couple 100 years or better.
I've got to meet Granny immediately. Oh, forgive me. I'm Mrs. Smith Standish.
Well, howdy, ma'am. I'm Jed Clampett, and like I say, this here is my daughter, Elly Mae.
How do you do?
Howdy.
Granny's out in the kitchen churning butter. Why don't you run fetch her, Elly Mae?
Oh, no, please. Churning butter? You mean by hand?
Oh, no, ma'am, with a churn. That's another thing that's been in her family a powerful long time.
Take me to her, will you, please?
I'll be pleasured, ma'am.
Ain't no use, Granny. You can't get a polish on this pewter junk. Do the best you can, Pearl. How can a body set a decent table with this kind of stuff? Why, if we was to have company, we'd all be disgraced. How enchanting. A vignette from the past. Oh, don't move. What a picture. The homespun dress, the colonial dust cap, the churn, the pewter, the old coffee mill. Oh, it's a tableau from another century.
Who do you reckon she is, Pearl?
Dogged if I know. May I get some pictures?
What kind of picture?
Still pictures.
She's a dead blame revenuer. Pearl! We got her trapped.
Well, now, hold on, Granny. Whoa, wait.
Hey, you let her take your gun. Now we have to rush her bare-handed.
I don't figure this lady is no revenuer. She's just powerful took with the old thing.
How long have you had this rifle?
Well, my pa gave it to me. His pa gave it to him. I reckon his pa done the same.
Marvelous. And the churn. How long have you had this?
Granny, ain't that the churn that saved your great-great-granny from the Injuns?
It sure is.
Oh, tell me about it, would you?
Well, my great-great-granny was a toting this churn from the cow barn to the cabin. When two big Indians jumped out of the woods to scalp her. She had beautiful hair, just like mine.
Get on with the story, Granny.
Well, she was out of sorts to begin with, 'cause it was a hot day, and the butter kept a-melting. And with them two redskins trying to snatch her hair, that riled her up but good. So she yanked up the dasher, and she whacked one of them with it. Then she upended the churn over the other one. That old Indian ran out into the woods, all covered with hot, melted butter.
Do you know what that is?
No, what is it?
That is a hog jowl.
Oh, well, thanks, dear, but I have other plans for lunch.
I have just been pelted with those repulsive objects by your friends and our neighbors, the Clampetts. Milburn, this is the last straw. Call out the militia. Have the neighborhood rezoned. Write our congressman. Do anything that's necessary, but get rid of those hillbillies.
Oh, Margaret, they're not a bad sort.
They're barbarians. And I warn you, Milburn, just as they brought about the decay of Rome, so Beverly Hills will crumble and...
Oh, please, Margaret, relax.
Oh, you don't understand such things as class war. You're of common birth. But we of the aristocracy have always had to fear the hostility of peasants. I tell you, Milburn, those Clampetts are dangerous. If they'll attack me with hog jowls, think what they might do to a woman like Priscilla Ralph Alden Smith Standish. And she's due to arrive any moment.
Oh, she has arrived, Mrs. Drysdale. Your chauffeur just phoned. He dropped her off at the Clampetts, thinking you were there.
Oh, they have her. She's been delivered into the hands of those savages.
Well, get those savages on the phone. We'll prove to Margaret that everything is all right.
This may be the oldest piece of pewter ever to be found on this continent. Now, I'm just mortified, Mrs. Smith Standish. I've been after Cousin Jed to get rid of all this junk. Now that he has money, I'm going to throw it all out. No, please, it's priceless.
Say, Miss Smith Standish, if you like old things, just wait till you get into this trunk. You'll be happy as a heifer in red clover.
Marvelous. Unbelievable. Is this your family Bible?
Well, no, not anymore. It got too old. Commenced to crisping and flaking off, so they pitched in, got another one about 100 years ago. It's in there in parlor.
Well, I'll get it, Uncle Jed. Hello?
Dedicated to Queen Elizabeth.
Yes, ma'am. This is Jethro.
Mr. Clampett, this is an original Geneva Bible. It's sometimes called a Puritan Bible. 400 years old.
Oh, why, yes, ma'am, Miss Hathaway. She's right here. You want it on the phone, ma'am?
Not now. Tell him I'm all tied up.
Hello? Oh, she can't talk right now. She's all tied up in Uncle Jed's trunk. Hello? Hello?
I thought the fresh air would revive her.
Oh, Milburn, what if they've strangled my president? Or she's suffocated in that trunk?
Mrs. Drysdale, I am certain the Clampetts would not do violent harm to Mrs. Smith Standish. Jethro has a way of confusing the facts.
I can't tell you how thrilled I am to participate in this historical recreation.
No, honey, this is what you call spinning. You gotta hold your thread tight.
I will.
Untie this woman. Madam President, what have they done to you? Milburn, call the police. I want these ruffians seized and hanged immediately.
What are you doing?
Rescuing you from the grimy clutches of these peasants.
Peasants? My dear Mrs. Drysdale, it may interest you to know that I have established almost beyond a doubt that Mr. Clampett here is a direct descendant of the first man to come ashore at Jamestown, Virginia, May 13th, 1607.
What? You mean?
I mean that when your family and my family arrived on the Mayflower, his family was waiting for them.
Miss Standish, surely there must be some ghastly mistake. Perhaps you're in a state of shock from the way these people mistreated you.
I've never been more hospitably treated in my life. I've dined on hog jowls, sorghum, homemade bread, fresh churned butter, served on pottery that might have been unearthed at Williamsburg. And I've eaten this delicious food with ancient pewter implements that would grace any museum.
That reminds me, I better go wash them dishes.
Oh, Granny, you know, I'm sure that Mrs. Drysdale would consider it an honor and a pleasure if you would permit her to wash these historic dishes.
What? Oh, she would indeed consider it an honor, wouldn't you, Margaret?
Whatever Madam President says, of course.
Well, I better come along and see if I got enough lye soap.
Lye soap? How ghastly.
Make it for simple.
You make your own lye soap?
Got to. You can't buy it in Beverly Hills. I offered to show Mrs. Drysdale how to make it, but she didn't care to learn.
Mrs. Drysdale, am I to understand that you are ignorant of the process by which your own colonial ancestors made their soap?
Well, Madam President,
Oh, your education has been shamefully neglected.
It's about time to add some more lye and some possum renderings, Miss Drysdale.
Oh, Mrs. Drysdale, I hope you appreciate the historical significance of this opportunity. You are reenacting the making of soap just as it was done more than 300 years ago.
Oh, yes, indeed, Madam President. I'm thrilled.
She's so happy, she's crying.
I wouldn't have missed this for $1 million. Tax exempt.
Oh, Chief, bank examiners are waiting.
Yes, I know. Oh, Mrs. Smith Standish, don't forget you promised to let my wife wash dishes, too.
Oh, I wouldn't think of depriving her of the thrill of handling those authentic colonial implements.
And in the good old colonial way, no automatic dishwasher.
Oh, heaven forbid.
How you doing, Miss Drysdale? I can scare you up a few more things to wash if it pleasures you.
Oh, no, please. Look what this lye soap has done to my head.
Yeah. They is nice and pink and rosy, ain't they? I don't blame you for cheering.
But you left. I couldn't tear myself away from the picture of my wife washing dishes.
She's taken to it like a cold hog to warm mud.
His presentation.